is going on, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Talking Buffalo, your weekday daily driver for Buffalo Sports Talk and more. My name is Patrick Moran. Thank you so much for watching, for listening. However, you are consuming this podcast. I really do appreciate you. Big shout out to both our sponsors, Sunny Reds, 1841 Aber Road, not far from a Highmark Stadium that was absolutely rocking here on Sunday. Also, shout out Imperial Pizza, 2 locations, including the one in the heart of South Buffalo at 1035 Abbott Road. All right, Monday podcast, Sunday vidcast, and on the video side, I am live as always following a Bills game. I got Joe from Queens with me, and I'll tell you what, Joe, I am a man of honor, okay? Let me start here. I'm a man of honor. I'm a man of honor. I am a man of integrity, and I put out a tweet today a couple hours before the game, and I said I am going to eat a Little Debbie Christmas tree cake for every Bills score today. So, I'm holding my hand right here for these bad boys. I mean, to be fair, I was probably going to eat them anyway, but not on the show. I'm going to have to eat these throughout the course of the show because I got to keep my word, man. Little Debbie Christmas cakes. The Bills scored 4 touchdowns. The Bills needed every one of them to beat the Kansas City Chiefs 28-21. Another regular season Bills triumph over the Chiefs. The Bills are 6-2. Kansas City falls to 5-4. They're in a dogfight, man. Anyway, what's up, dude? How you doing? What's up?
Well, first off, I'm drinking I already opened this before. It's an Imperial Wrench for all the beer snobs out there. It is 10% alcohol. So, yeah, it's good stuff. It's like industrial arts. What the hell are you talking about? Are we trying to get like a Little Debbie sponsor, or are you pandering to that crap? Like, I got to watch you eat 4 of these do you know how much I do?
It's Christmas season, buddy.
Oh my God.
It's Christmas season, man.
Clown shit, bro. You're clown. I gotta watch you eat these at some point. Is it gonna be every quarter?
I'm keeping my word. I said I am going to eat 4 of these for one for every score. The Bills scored 4 times.
But so you're doing this. You're gonna do this on the podcast.
Yeah, why not?
So I'm kind of hungry
watch
anyway.
You eat
I'm after in
a snacky mood.
After like the game of the century. I mean, it wasn't the game of the century, but a great game. Like we couldn't handle this for the bye week or anything else. We're gonna do this tonight. Yeah. Oh my Lord, it's fine. Yeah. Hey, you know we got to compete with the Podfather Cover One. Stevie Johnson has a podcast now with Mike Furio's son somehow. I don't know if you saw that. I'm like, that's a new podcast. So so we're just gonna see Pat get fat as a way to get ratings.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I was probably gonna eat them anyway, and I am getting fat. It's I don't really hide from it, but that's okay, man. There's a lot of people here in the live chat.
Hi, everyone.
So I appreciate you. I can't get to all these comments because I do got to focus up on the show a little bit, but I appreciate you all. Thanks for the warm greetings, and try to get to some comments throughout this show. I'm not even gonna wait here. We'll get one of these open and ready to go. Because when you yap forever, I probably got time to eat 2 of these.
Well, yeah, because you don't care what I have to say.
One of your long-winded takes, I could probably eat half of these before.
Yeah. Bro, we already did a Flushmore last week, and I was at number 9 about your annoying tendencies. I could definitely make it into a freaking the Rocky Mountains if you want. So keep going at it there, Husky.
Listen, all right, let's turn our attention to a football game. Let's not get too out of hand here. I want to start. Here's where I want to start tonight. I want to start talking about with the defense first, okay? Because to me, there's 2 big things about this game, Joe, with the defense. Number one, let's not lose sight. You know, every year it seems like the Bills, beating Kansas City in the regular season, we all know this. It's not nothing new. But what does seem like an annual tradition besides the Bills winning is that Kansas City always seems to come limping into Orchard Park, or we go to Arrowhead where the offense is struggling in Kansas City, and they're trying to find their way. And they're winning a lot of ugly games, low-scoring games where they score 27 points or less. They get a couple lucky calls, a couple breaks here and there, and that's how they win. I want to point out that that was not the case in this game, man. Kansas City came into this game offensively red hot. They've scored at least 28 points or more in 5 straight games, and Patrick Mahomes over the last 3 or 4 games coming into this one absolutely was lighting it up. So you have that factor, and then you got the injury factor for a Buffalo defense that was fighting shorthanded in this game. Ed Oliver, we know he's out for sure for the rest of the regular season, possibly deep into the playoffs. DeQuan Jones, he missed another game. Teron Johnson, who got hurt at a walkthrough on Friday, a groin pull, he didn't play in this game. Shaq Thompson, laugh if you want. Shaq Thompson has been the best linebacker on the Buffalo Bills for the past month. He didn't play in this football game. You got Jordan Poyer out there in his first start against a real offense. I know he played last week against Carolina. Jordan Hancock, very inexperienced. Max Harrison just in his second game ever. Bernard was out there hobbling around. We'll talk about him a few times throughout this show, but let's start with the defense, because to me, a big storyline to come from this game and from the bye, Sean McDermott's taking over this defense. Mm-hmm. He's taking it over. I don't give a shit. If he wants to say him and Babbage are sharing play calls, be my guest, but we've seen strong results. So let's start there. Let's start with this defense. They, all things considered, I think, played borderline phenomenally in this football game.
Yeah, I agree with that. You took the words right out of my mouth in terms of like Sean McDermott deserves credit for the defense, because I don't know when it's changed. Like he said after, what was it, the Falcons game, he didn't take play calling duties away. Then after
they were sharing them.
Yeah, but then, well, he didn't say that after the Falcons game. But then after the Carolina game, he said we're sharing them. Yeah, I'm sure they are, fatty. And then after the Carolina game, he basically admitted that, oh yeah, I'm taking kind of over, and you know, give him credit. Their pass rush was it tonight. And without those guys, that you had just mentioned off the top in terms of the injuries, they were all over Mahomes. And I think that's the big reason why, they won this game. But I want to ask you,
is that a hot take alarm going off in New York City right now?
No, they're probably Weight Watchers coming to your house to stop you from eating 4 of these fucking things. But here's the thing I wanted to ask you, since we don't have a rundown, or I didn't read it because I don't read your emails anymore.
We don't have one.
Okay. In the long term, heading into this week, I saw Nate Geary, and I like Nate more than a lot of other guys out there. He's tweeted out that, I kind of want them to lose this game because I feel like there's no way you could beat the Chiefs twice in a season. And I don't agree with that, because on the surface, there are rivalries over the years, like Colts Patriots, where like teams split, or they have one loss and then the playoffs to get them back, or they sweep them, and it happens a lot, and it just hasn't happened for the Bills. Do you think this game means it changes more in terms of like makes you feel better about playing them in the playoffs? Like, do you now?
Yes.
Like, how does it feel more different? I guess that's the question. Does it feel different than like last year? Okay, why? What makes it feel different from the last 4 regular season wins, or 5, whatever the hell we're at now, since 2021? What makes this one feel different?
The biggest one for me is
little Debbie over here. Go ahead.
I'm almost choking on one right now, to be honest with you. The biggest difference for me, listen, I know that 2 years ago, Kansas City came into Orchard Park in the playoffs and they won. They won by a field goal. Yeah. They won in a game where I think the Bills, they blew it more than Kansas City won. And I hate to say it that way, but the drops, Sherfield with 2 big drops, Diggs with a drop, missed field goal, injuries galore in that football game, which is a common theme with the Bills, which we'll talk about. I think there's a big difference between playing the Chiefs in Arrowhead in January and playing them at Highmark Stadium. All the other playoff losses have been in Arrowhead. What is it? 3 of them now. So 3 of them have been in Arrowhead. So I think it's a big difference for that game. For that reason alone, I think there's a new look to this defense, which I'm sure we're going to talk about a little bit throughout the show. An infusion of youth and new blood and speed on this team. Although, God, it was such a big injury, which I'm going to get into in just a second. So for that reason, I feel different. Before we continue with the defense, and ultimately we'll get into the offense, a lot of comments about Hairston, Cole Bishop. We're going to get to those guys. I want to ask you a question here. At some point, because if we would have, so we did this, we're going live, I should say, maybe 75 to 90 minutes after this game ended. I'm going to be honest with you. When this game ended, if we would have went live 5 minutes after this game ended, I was almost in a demoralized type of mood. Because this game gave us a lot more stress and it felt like it needed to be like that. Kansas City was ready to get put away in this football game. This could have been a 3-score Bills win. So there's that. And then the injury to Michael Hoecht, who I think we only exchanged a couple messages early in the game. And I'm pretty sure I said something about Michael Hoecht to you early in the game. This guy, I'm choking on a little Debbie snack cake crumb. This guy was unbelievable in this football game. He was unbelievable in Carolina last week. And he was the way, and I'm going to give Sean McDermott some credit, and I'll get to that. But Michael Hoecht interior pass rushing on passing downs was bringing so much juice, and he tore his Achilles. Sean McDermott's already confirmed it, so there's no mystery. There's no waiting for results on Monday. His season is over. That injury, combined with Oliver and all these other freaking injuries, has me almost, it didn't even feel like the Bills won the game, which is crazy because they just beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But probably for a good 30 minutes after the game, until I got a little more perspective going through my body, I almost felt like the Bills lost this game because they won the battle but lost the war. That's how important I think Michael Hoecht is in his defense, this front four, without Ed Oliver right now. So did you kind of have that almost borderline demoralized feeling? Like they almost found a way to potentially lose this game. It just felt like they should have just put them away.
I wouldn't say I felt that way. Look, Michael Hoecht's had a nice 6-quarter career here. Okay, let's not act like it's.
Agreed.
He's not an all-pro. Like he's been a nice addition from what we see, but it's six quarters. So
yeah, but he's a beast, man.
I felt more like annoyed, like really another effing injury. Like you know how sometimes I felt like maybe the Bills moving out of the stadium, like it's like the Burbs movie or something. Or one time when me and my now wife, you know, the girlfriend at the time, we were living in her apartment and we were moving. And then all of a sudden, like when we were committed to moving to this apartment that I'm in now, her apartment started to not work anymore. It was the weirdest thing, like crazy noises at night and the faucet not working anymore and the bathtub getting full. And maybe it was like telling us like, get the hell out of here. And I'm wondering if like, maybe like Highmark Ralph Wilson Stadium is like pissed off and like, okay, you're leaving me, F you, because we're gonna get all these injuries before you. I mean, at this rate, I'm ready for a beam at the new stadium to drop on Greg Rousseau's car while he's in it, because it's just like all these injuries are just like ridiculous. And again, it's another, you know, I hate that AstroTurf. I'm so glad they're getting natural grass next year. You know, because it's just a bullshit turf, and that turf is a non-contact one. We've seen that before.
Yeah,
and they should outlaw that type of turf. It's bullshit. But to answer your question, no, I didn't feel that way because I look at him as a guy. He's 6 quarters in his career here. He's a nice role guy. He was played really well. And maybe I'll regret that saying that this next week, and it sucks. Like but I wouldn't say like, oh man, it was a bad losing. Ed Oliver would have been like, if you lost Ed Oliver again, that would have felt. I could maybe see that point a little bit, but if you want the truth, if you're worried about playing the Chiefs later, the Bills defense has collapsed all the time in the playoffs when they've been healthy against them.
I'm going to disagree with you about this, the severity of Michael Hoecht, but let's do this.
Well, it's 6 quarters, so you want to annoy him as the fucking...
I'm not annoying him. I'm telling you, he brings something unique to this defense that they do not have. They don't have another guy like him on this defense. I'm not saying that he's freaking Trey Hendrickson or Aiden Hutchinson or anything like that. But he
you just said this game doesn't matter to you because they
I didn't say that. I did not say that. I said my feeling right after the game. My initial feeling was between Michael Hoecht being done for the year and between the way this game just felt like Kansas City could still win it at the end, it just borderline felt demoralizing to me, where I felt like this was going to be the type of victory, and it is the type of victory. But in that moment, I felt like this is the type of victory that is really going to propel this team. I want to circle back to Michael Hoecht because I'm not done with him. But like I said, a big storyline with Sean McDermott taking over, and I think you're seeing things change quickly. And this defense in this football game, Joe, so they gave up a touchdown drive in the first half, and they gave up 2 field goals, but they forced a punt. They stopped a 4th down. They held, I cannot believe. So that long pass near the end of the first half to, I think it was Hollywood Brown, and Christian Benford tackled him at the 1. I'm like, well, that sucks. To go with a touchdown. They didn't score a touchdown. The Bills stopped them on 3 plays. That was like a 4-point victory in the first half. They held Kansas City to 1 for 5 on third downs in the first half, 3 for 13 in the game. And then I'm like, all right, well, this is Andy Reid. This is Kansas City. This is Pat Mahomes. They're going to come out and they're going to make some crazy adjustments. But second half, punt, touchdown, okay, interception, Max Hairston, and then the stop at the end of the game when they were frantically, desperately trying to score. Dude, Patrick Mahomes got sacked 3 times. He was hit. Guess how many times he was hit? I don't know if you've looked at the stats.
Yeah,
how many times do you think he was hit in this game?
He was hit 14 times, the most he
15.
ever got.
I got 15.
I got 14. It was the most, but either way, it was the most he ever.
So you had that. But
most he's ever received in a game.
Let me read off a tweet from our boy Ryan Talbot here, and he's crediting Matty Glab from the Bills. Great information from Matty Glab on the postgame show. The Bills pressured Patrick Mahomes on 53% of his dropbacks. When pressured, he was 3 of 16 for 61 yards. That is freaking impressive. I think he was pressured like less than 30% of the time on his dropbacks coming in his game. So almost double what they normally do. This defense, I don't think you could say enough good things about it. And,
I thought the edge guys were really good, like Epinesa, Rousseau, Bosa. That's where they won, I felt, on the defensive line. And I think if you look at playing Mahomes over the years, like I remember before Von Miller got hurt in that Kansas City game in 2022, and that was when they were all over Mahomes. And Von Miller was a big reason why. And then obviously we know he got hurt, and it sucked obviously. But if you get some guys on the edge that can get after Mahomes, and the Bills do have that with Bosa, who was really good tonight. Like he was a beast tonight, and Rousseau was great. Epinesa was great. That's when you can make things happen, because they didn't blitz all that much tonight. Outside of the Benford, Benford had the sack.
They barely blitzed at all.
They barely blitzed, and they got a ton of pressure out of. And I don't know, because look, if you look at this defensive line, on paper you're not blown away by them, but they did it tonight, and I do wonder if it was like I guess we got to give credit to the McDermott Babbage defense of that, because you don't see that often. We haven't seen that with 3 or 4 guys getting that much pressure. But to me, that's why the Hoyt thing is a loss, but they've had
more than a loss. It's a big loss.
Can I just say it's a loss? Okay,
it's a big loss. Use the word big after or before it.
Fuck you. I'm not using it's big loss. Ed Oliver's a big loss. The guy played 6 quarters, and you want me to put him in the Hall of Fame already?
You didn't see enough in 6 quarters to call him a big loss?
He's a loss, dude. A loss in a rotation, man. Okay, I know, whatever, dude. Okay, fine. Okay, he's a loss. He's a loss. I mean, he's not. I'm sorry. You got him and Jordan Palmer going to the Hall of Fame because they had 6 good quarters in their career. George Jordan. I don't give a shit. I'm sick of you and your film shit.
Let me say one thing, because I agree with you about the edge guys. I think that was a great point you made. You're right.
Can you have a funeral for Hoyt tomorrow? Why do I have to be on the funeral for Hoyt night? Get him tomorrow. You have the damn film tomorrow, and you and Matt Rich Moran the 7th can fucking give a funeral of him. Why do I gotta kiss his ass?
All right, so listen, Joey Bosa was a beast in this game. He had a sack. He had 5 hits, and some of them were hard. By the way, they were putting some lumber on Mahomes. I'm actually surprised. People, listen. The Kansas City official thing, people dressing up with, uniform or referee uniforms with the Kansas City hat on, bullshit. The Bills got plenty of wood on Pat Mahomes today and did not get called for a single roughing the passer. They could a couple times. But anyway, Bosa with a sack and 5 hits. Groot had a half a sack. He had 4 hits on the quarterback. A.J. Epinesa on back-to-back plays, especially that sideline one. He crushed him. So the edge guys did play great. But to your point, with the inside stuff and going back to Michael Hoecht, the coaching, what Sean McDermott devised for this game, which I thought was brilliant. So you got Deion Walker and Larry Ogunjobi and Jordan Phillips, yada, yada. They did not respect the Chiefs' run whatsoever. So what they were doing on any kind of, it's probably going to be a pass situation, they were using Michael Hoecht as the interior guy along with Dorian Williams. Dorian Williams played a lot as a defensive tackle. They were using two speedy pass rushers on the inside, and that was helping to create a lot of pressure, which opened up a lot of one-on-ones for Bosa and Groot, and they were beating their guys. So to me, it was a combination of on the front end, and we'll talk about the secondary because a couple of those guys really stood out too, but defensive edge guys played great. But also, again, Sean McDermott was really dialing things up, and I thought with the injuries, the way they used their personnel was awesome, which goes back to, again, Michael Hoecht getting hurt sucked because he could play that role. You saw late in the game, Javon Sullivan had to come in when Michael Hoecht got hurt. That's night and day difference. So he's going to have to go back to the drawing board again. But that was kind of schemed, too. They were having quick guys playing defensive tackle because they knew Kansas City was going to throw the ball because they did not respect the run, as I open up Little Debbie number 2 here.
Yeah. You know, I see I'm getting kind of a little bit heated on the chat, and I'm sure you'll be posting that in no time because you love when people agree with you and disagree with me. Look, Hoy was a good player. Like I'm just saying, it's 6 quarters, and he did get hurt, and they still did get pressure on Mahomes afterwards. So my apologies to Hoyt. Like my bad. I'm sorry I don't have the blue collar boner for him like everyone else does. Okay. Yes, they are losing guys, and I think that's probably the bigger key is they're losing guys. So yes, it's a what's the difference between big and no loss? He's there. Okay, moving on. One thing I did notice with the secondary, especially Maxwell Harrison, I thought he had a lot of speed, a lot more speed than I thought. Like that one play, like I think it was in the first half when they threw it deep to Worthy, I think it was, and he was stride for stride with him.
My favorite play of the game.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, this kid's got wheels." So good, because that was the thing I was scared shitless about going against the Chiefs was the speed. And he was good in that. And like you said, look, youth was good tonight. And Cole Bishop was awesome. I want you to apologize to Cole Bishop because you hated him all this time. You've hated him since day one. You hated DeMar, and then I think you just love Jordan Poyer so much that you just can't get over Jordan Poyer is not Jordan Poyer anymore. Because you hated Hamlin, you hated Rapp, you hated Cole Bishop, and now you should apologize to Cole Bishop or eat another little Debbie up there, Mr. Hoyt man. Because Cole Bishop was awesome tonight. He was good.
I think you know what I think. You know what I think. I think you should keep going, and you should get to every talking point that we could have for the whole show in one take. So you're going Bishop.
You're talking about the defense.
You may as well just switch to the offense too, and then you can hit Josh and how good he was, and James Cook.
Let me explain this. This is what you do on this show. You go over the entire front seven, and I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Yeah, Pat, I agree with you. So I have to go to another part of the defense.
Which you don't agree with me most of the time.
Well, you're right, but all I'm saying is I just wanted to go to the secondary. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it to go to home. Because you're talking about the defense, because you never ask me questions. You should ask me questions instead of just harping about like stats. Anyway, let's blow Cole Bishop first. Can we ball wash Cole Bishop for a second? Is that okay, or do you have to do your token? We're gonna talk about that in a minute. I gotta talk about my little Debbies and Ryan Talbot, my boy, or my guy.
You made the term ball wash really popular last week. I saw a lot of hashtags on that. Not even after our show. All week long, I saw the word ball wash.
Can we ball wash? Can we ball wash Cole? I'll let you ball wash Cole Bishop. Ball wash Cole Bishop.
Well, I mean, you're right. This was now. I know he had that awesome interception, that play against the Saints where he flew across the field from one hash mark to the sideline and made an interception. But he also got beat sometimes in that game. I thought it was an up and down game for him. This was his coming out party. This was his best game. This was this is what you hope to see from your second round safety. This is the kind of game where everybody has their coming out moment, their coming out game. This could have been it for Cole Bishop. Like maybe if you felt going into the trade deadline, which we'll talk about, by the way, before we get off the air tonight. If you felt going into the trade deadline, the Bills really got to go get a safety, man. Cole Bishop ain't it. You need to change your mind because again, they just played Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. This is not the Carolina Panthers and Andy Dalton we're talking about here. Cole Bishop was a game-impacting safety. The hits, he put one on Travis Kelce. That was pretty nice to see.
That was nice, yeah.
In the end zone. But he had some nice tackles. It was great in coverage. Yeah, he was the real deal. This was the coming out party, I think, for Cole Bishop, the official one anyway.
I could be wrong here, and I'm just kind of bullshitting, but I wonder if having Jordan Poyer play next to him has helped him, because Poyer is like a coach on the field. It's the Eddie Robinson thing, which I hate using, but you know what I mean. But like,
it's a good point.
He knows this defense. Maybe he's helping him out, because you and I bitched about Bishop the first month of the season. At least you did, because you hated his guts. And now all of a sudden he's kind of turned it around a little bit, and he's done it against good teams. Like, look, the Chiefs love that middle of the field, and they did give up some big chunk plays, the Chiefs, but or the Bills defense did at times. But Bishop was great. Though. Yeah, it's fine. Bishop was great, and like, look, this team needs youth very, very badly. Yeah. Not just for, and look, I hate youth sometimes. Like, like they're green, and I think sometimes the content bros and the film bros, and especially you kind of hype these guys up a little bit too much. Like Terrell Shavers you have on the Wall of Fame, and all these other guys you have on the Wall of Fame. I keep eating there. I hope that's the third one, fat boy.
That's two. Okay. 2 down, 2 to go. I'm making good time.
But like, I tend to believe rookies get a little bit too much hype, but I agree. Like, they need some young energy there, young youth, and like, give me some young guys who are in that rookie contract, to be good their first or second year. Like, God help us, God willing, we have a good rookie in Maxwell Harrison who's going to be good this year, and not like, oh, he picks it up in the third year or whatever. Like, this is good for them. And I think it was a good game to have those individuals on the defense, the younger blood, to come through.
You feel a lot better. Let me say this too, because Taylor Rapp's been mentioned a lot in this chat. Taylor Rapp's been mentioned a lot on the show.
Him too. You hate him.
I have, but let me offer a sort of an apology in a way to Taylor Rapp, because he looked so hideous this season compared to last year. 2 years ago, he was fine. Last year, he had moments. He made some big plays. He made some mistakes last year. This year, he was downright hideous on the field. He was the worst player on the football team as far as I'm concerned this season. But we come to find out he's been playing hurt all season. And that explains maybe some of why he played like he did. He looked like he had cement in his feet. Well, he was playing with a hurt knee. Now, in fairness to fans, media, content creators, whoever, when the Bills don't put it on the injury report literally all season that he's participating or limited or whatever with the knee, you don't know that. So I'm going off, assuming that he's healthy because he's not on the injury report. Sure. So I do want to say that, Taylor Rapp gave it a go, and he was hurt. So maybe, in hindsight, I would kind of wish I wasn't as harsh on him. But look, the Bills need Cole Bishop, and the Bills need Max Hairston. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot more exciting to think about a secondary that has Christian Benford and Max Hairston and Cole Bishop, and ultimately, I would say Jordan Hancock, although they're kind of sharing that position right now. That's exciting to me. And the play you described, Max Hairston had an interception. What a great moment. It was 3rd and long. It was basically a punt. You like to use the term arm punt. That was basically an arm punt for Mahomes anyway, but who cares? He got the interception. That's the big thing. And that was a cool moment. But for me, my favorite play that anyone did in the secondary the entire game was watching Max Hairston run stride for stride with Xavier Worthy. Because I think about guys like Trey White and Jordan Poyer and Taylor Rapp and all these slow-ass Bills guys in the secondary that you could just run away from. You ain't running away from Max Hairston, and we got to see that in an NFL Live rep, and that kind of got me excited a lot watching that happen.
Was there anyone on the defense that you weren't happy with? Like, how did you feel Milano played since he played?
Yes, there's one.
Okay. Are we allowed? I know you like to wait.
No, you're fine.
But on defense, like, I know you're the host and you don't give me a rundown anymore. Who was your non-ball washing player of the game?
It was not Matt Milano. Matt Milano was okay. Matt Milano didn't play that much. They played a lot of, again, Dorian Williams. I guarantee you, we don't have the snap counts because the game just ended. I bet you Dorian Williams played more than he did. He didn't play a lot, and they played a lot of dime. Ingram played a lot, playing in the dime. Anyway, to answer your question, there's 2 guys. Number 1, Ingram, but it's not his fault. He shouldn't be out there. This was the Teron Johnson. This was the when Teron Johnson get the passing it down. Cam Lewis in his place was fine. Cam Lewis played pretty well. He didn't make any major mistakes. So they didn't miss Teron Johnson in terms of the nickel. But Cam Lewis should have been playing that dime spot where Ingram had to play. So the trickle-down effect of not having Teron Johnson was felt there. So I would say that. But I don't expect anything from Ingram. The one guy in this defense, and I'll give him a little bit of leeway because I'm going to go back and watch the film. You know, you love that shit.
Oh, yes.
Terrell Bernard looked like shit.
Everyone in the chat agrees with you.
He looked terrible. He looked slow. At that 4th and 17 was, I'm going to talk about that in a second. That 4th and 17 play, he looked like he was on borderline limping out there. They missed Shaq Thompson. Shaq Thompson right now is better than Terrell Bernard. He just is, which sucks because your boy's 31 and can't stay healthy, Shaq. And Bernard's your younger, well-paid captain of the team. Now, again, Bernard is fighting through an ankle injury, so I'm going to be careful. I'm not saying he sucks that much, but he was a bad liability in that middle to deep zone in the middle of the football field in coverage. You saw that a few times, but he was bad. But that would probably be the only guy on this team that I thought was not good on defense. I thought everybody else played reasonably well. Even guys, I saw Federian, I can't even pronounce his first name, Mathis, number 72, was elevated.
Yeah, I didn't know who the hell that guy was. I was like, who's this guy?
He had a couple nice reps. Larry Ogunjobi, he had a couple nice reps. Javon Sullivan's not giving him nothing. Well, he's going to have to learn to because, again, Michael Hoecht's done, so.
Yeah. I wonder, look, with Bernard, like, obviously, as you said, the injuries, you know, is he, how much is that affecting him? But we're also going, like, last year, he wasn't that great.
No,
like,
he wasn't.
He wasn't. And I'm trying to remember look, 2023, he was awesome. Like, you and I talked about it. Like, he was great. And I just wonder if that guy needs, like, a big-ass, like, defensive tackle in front of him. Like, I'm just making it up. Like, Ted Washington, we'll just say. Like, a giant. And that's how he needs to make plays. And that's because he's too small. And he can't get off the blocks. And he needs a guy who's going to eat people up. And then he's gonna have a free shot at the running back or whatever, like because he is a small guy. Like and I'm trying to remember like who were the defensive tackles in 2023? It was freaking
Daquan.
It was Daquan and Ed. Yeah, so it's not like I mean Daquan hasn't played all that much this year. It feels like so. And I don't want to anoint Daquan as some sort of as Ted Washington 2.0, but maybe that's what that guy needs. He needs to be in an old school. I have a fat guy, 2 fat guys who don't get sacks and they're just fat like you. With
the problem is, and again, how much of this is injury related? I honestly don't know. Maybe that ankle's been hurt a couple times. He's hurt it a few times. Because the strength of his football game is speed and coverage ability. You know what I mean? Being able to play in open space, interceptions, causing turnovers, moving quick, using his speed. If he ain't got right now, he's an undersized guy who's not very fast. That's the problem. You can't be both. You could be a big thumper and you're not that fast. That's okay. If you're undersized, you better be lightning speedy quick, and he's not. Mm-hmm. So that could be the injury. Last thing I want to do, then I want to take a break, come back, talk about the offsides. Again, the defense played so good. But one play, and this just still gives me anxiety today. That 4th and 17. So in a matter, this is where the game switches. The Bills are up, what were they up? 15 at the time. They're up 15 at the time. And it's looking so good. It's the 2nd or 3rd down. Michael Hoecht comes limping off. I'm like, oh, fuck. Goes to the bench. Sure enough, we know what the result is now. 2 plays later, it's 4th and 17. And when you watch, if you haven't seen it yet, when you guys watch this replay, Joey Bosa blows past the guy, and for some ungodly reason, he turns around when he's not even being blocked to look behind him because he's so convinced he got through the line so easy that, it's a screen or something. He completely loses sight that it's 4th and 17. There's 7 defenders behind him. He looks at Travis Kelce, and because he did that, Mahomes has time to reset, survey the field, and he hits, I can't remember who it was, who gives a shit, but it was a long pass for a first down on 4th and 17. That might have been a top 10 if there would have been a camera on me for real-time reaction, me completely losing my shit. That was one of the dumbest plays I've ever seen an NFL player make in my life. And Joey Bosa played amazing. Okay,
Yeah,
he played great. And he's been good this year. And you paid him money for today. You pay him money to go be good against the Chiefs, and he sure as shit was. But that was a meathead, stupid play if I've ever seen one. Him turning around when he had Patrick Mahomes completely dead. That could have cost the Bills the football game, dude.
Yeah. It's one of those things where we've talked about Bosa can be too pass rush oriented, where he's running up the field and he gets caught in no man's land. And I wouldn't be shocked if that was pushed into him, like, hey, be careful of the screenplay. And that's what he did. He thought the screenplay was going to come to him, so he went back in the coverage. It's like, dude, don't, like, he just got fooled. It was a bad play.
Can I call him if I say big dummy, but in an affectionate, loving kind of way, is that okay? Is that acceptable? Yeah. Listen, he's played great, but he has made some dumb plays. Like he misses assignments, but he makes up for it. Boy, oh boy, was he good.
What annoyed me about that play before that was taking a defensive timeout. I do not like.
We're gonna get to that.
Oh, we are? Okay, I'm sorry. All right.
I'm sorry. No, you're right.
Taking my heat again. I just, what the fudge? We could have just broke these segments off into defense in the first half of the show and then offense in the second half.
It's kind of where I was going.
Pat, no, you weren't. I was about to talk about it. Like, don't take defensive timeout.
I was going to use just timeouts left in general, but you're 100% right. Let me ask you this, since we're there, and then we'll go
I'm doing the rundown next show, by the way.
Seriously, one of the dumb things, Bosa's, again, 4th and 17, and then Joe's. You're right. The use of Sean McDermott's timeout. I think they called 5 timeouts. Like, and they had like 4 minutes left in each half. Then they were they used 5 of their 6 timeouts.
Look, I want to give Sean credit. Like, if this is now his defense and Bobby Babich is just the assistant to the general manager, like Dwight, which it could be at this point. Like, credit to him. But yeah, sometimes I think he gets a little bit when he plays the Chiefs. I feel like it is intense. Like, during the week, he's kicking the dog or get this dog out of here. Like, he doesn't want anyone to do with anything. Like, it's football focus. And you can just tell he kind of overthinks. Like, don't take defensive timeouts. We saw what happened in 13 seconds when they took defensive timeouts and they got in the field goal range for Harrison fuckface. And that was it. But no more of that. But I will say this. He did take a defensive timeout before the Maxwell Harrison interception. So maybe he was on to something.
Well, not all the timeouts. People were yelling. I will say also, as we go to a break, one of the timeouts he had to use was on special teams, which was really freaking annoying. However, it's because the Bills had 12 guys on the field when Kansas City was going to kick a field goal. And if he didn't use that timeout, they would have gotten a 5-yard penalty, and Kansas City would have gotten the first down. We'll talk about Sean more after the break. And we're going to get to this offense. I mean, Jesus. They played really good for the most part on offense. The Stars played like stars anyway. So we'll get to that and plenty more right after this quick break. On the video side, we'll literally be back in 5 seconds. All right, back here with Joe from Queens. Monday podcast, Sunday late night live reaction show. The Buffalo Bills defeat yet again during the regular season the Kansas City Chiefs 28-21. Joe, what do you think about this, man? So tomorrow or tonight, depending on when you're listening to this, I'm going to be at Imperial Pizza. My guy Mookie Hawkins is going to be with me. And I've never had Mookie on the show before. It's going to be his first time. He covered the game using the press box. We're going to go over all of our biggest reactions to that, much more. Get a chance to get to know Mookie a little bit as well on this show. I'm looking forward to that, man. First time ever on the show. Live at Imperial Pizza, Monday night podcast will be streamed at 8 p.m.
All right, 2 things. One, I didn't know Mookie all of a sudden became my guy. I mean, the my guy, I thought it was like an elite 4-person thing, and now he's your guy. That's why I don't buy the my guy. He's not a my guy.
Everyone's my guy. My guy's me saying that's my buddy, my friend.
Please ask him about Waro if you can. I want to hear about their rival.
I'm not going to ask him. I am not going to ask him about.
One day, I'm telling you, you better hope I never move back to Buffalo, because if I do, I'm going to steal your gimmick and I'm going to be a podcast host and interview all the media bros. And I'm going to be a dick to all of them on the show. I'm going to ask them all the controversial stuff, and then I'm going to get booted. And no
Steven in the live chat said, I want that poster of AJ sticking Mahomes. Dude, he hit him really hard on that.
He fucked them up.
All right, let's get so, the Josh Allen has been, I would say, average this season. By his standards, certainly average. And I almost feel like, given the criticism he's had, given the season he's had, that he almost kind of we needed him. Maybe he didn't need to play a great game. I feel like we needed him to play a great game so more people would just shut the fuck up and stop complaining about every little thing about him off the field. This week it was the Halloween stuff. His head's not in the game. I think he was on a Jimmy Fallon sketch on brand thing or something like that. Mm-hmm. This and that, whatever. Your boy came out and he did what he always does, and he played great against the Kansas City Chiefs. 23 of 26, 273 yards and a touchdown, 2 tushy-pushy touchdowns. He had an 11-yard run in this game. He had 100. Well, we'll get to the tight ends in a second. Not even close to a turnover. He only had 3 incomplete passes this entire game. One of them, Jackson Hall just flat out dropped that was right in his hands. Another one was a sideline scramble drill where he threw it out of bounds, and then it was a 3rd down stop. He was awesome, man. And I'll tell you, a lot of times these guys, Mahomes, Josh Allen, they get together and they both play great, and it comes down to a couple of plays here and there. Josh Allen was just straight up light years better than Patrick Mahomes in this football game. This was a great game for Josh Allen. I don't know what more you could possibly want from him. 23 of 26.
He was great. I wouldn't say he was light years better than Mahomes. I thought Mahomes was. I thought Mahomes was okay in this game.
Well, Mahomes had a lot more pressure, so I mean, that's why it's all sometimes so unfair to compare quarterbacks because they're not playing defense. Mahomes got hit 15 fucking times in this game, but I mean, Mahomes didn't even complete 50% of his passes.
You're right, my bad. I'll take that. I'll take that back. My apologies. I didn't look at the stats and wow.
Little Debbie cake number 3 incoming.
Yeah,
by the way.
Well, congrats. Yeah, 44% for Mahomes in that game. Like Jesus Christ. But yeah, Allen was great. This was they had the everyone eats bullshit. I think they had like 9 different pass receivers caught balls tonight or something along those lines. Allen was efficient and he made some great throws, and he brings his A game against the Chiefs. Like
10 guys caught a pass tonight.
10 guys, wow. Like he brings his A game against the Chiefs. You can never look, you could maybe fault him on some of those drives in the playoffs, like the end, like the Shakir, like he missed Shakir because he had freaking Deion Dawkins got Chris Jones shoved him in his ass basically on that throw. But for the most part, he brings his A game against the Chiefs, and that was big game Josh today in terms of what he did. And I thought in totality for this game, this was the Sean McDermott put this game on my gravestone. What we did well with we rushed the quarterback, we rushed the football. We passed efficiently, and we got the passing game going. Like, they did the whole balance off. Like, those are the 3 things Sean wants to do is get pressure on the quarterback, rush the football, and then throw it. That's like, I would say, his 3 demandments.
Let me ask you a question.
Josh was great. Go ahead.
Do you think sometimes, and maybe we'll include ourselves, that fans, content creators, media, whoever, you dig into a take. You dig into whatever you feel about a player or a thing, and no matter what, you just... Sure. You won't come off your take. You won't come off your feeling, whether it's good or bad. I say that because Joe Brady, and a lot of it, some of it, at least some of it's deserved, okay, is an absolute punching bag, okay? He is. But you look at this game, I feel like if you're not giving Joe Brady credit in this game, then you don't want to. That's how I'm talking about you. I'm talking about anybody. If you're not crediting Joe Brady as an asset as opposed to a liability for this game, then I don't think you want to, because I look at it this way. We always say, well, you got to throw something different at the team that you play every year. They did. The tight ends were a major part of the passing game. Yes. The tight ends had 123 yards receiving combined in the first half. That's one thing that I thought was brilliant in their game plan in preparation for this game. And the other thing, which was apparent, and maybe it didn't seem like a big deal, but it is. Every time the Bills got a chunk play in Kansas City territory, and Tony Romo, who I thought was brilliant on the broadcast, by the way, he pointed this out. 100% right.
Sure.
Well, they would get a big chunk play. What did they do? They went up-tempo. They got right back to the line and started running plays, so Kansas City could not get in bigger personnel. They scored not once. They scored 2 touchdowns because of that. 2 Josh Allen, one was the Ty Johnson run, if you remember. And it was almost like he almost got a touchdown. It was almost uncontested. It was so easy because Kansas City had a nickel personnel in there. So they got a big chunk play down the field. I believe that's when they went to Kincaid on that 47-yard catch and run. And then they ran Ty Johnson twice. The second one was a touchdown. And then the other time, again, they ran up-tempo, and Josh Allen had an easy tush push for the touchdown. So Joe Brady deserves credit. The up-tempo after big plays caught Kansas City off guard and getting the tight ends involved. So I'm just making sure that, if we're going to bash Joe Brady, and I do plenty of it, then I'm going to make sure he gets some flowers in this game because I thought he did a really good job with the game plan.
So you want to ball wash him? Don't say about making flowers.
We'll call it ball washing. If you
I don't want to get flowers.
Washing,
we're calling ball wash. We're trademarking that ball
no
washing.
No more saying the word flowers for now on. It's ball washing.
Ball washing.
All right, I'm down with that.
No, Joe Brady deserves some ball washing, I would say. I don't know about. Look, I hate when they run that stupid wide receiver screen. Like they did that one play. I forgot what it was. They ran a wide receiver screen to someone, and I was like,
I know what you're talking about. It was Shakir. It was 3rd and 10, and they ran it to Shakir, and it went for like a yard. I knew what they were trying to do. I knew what they were trying to do. It didn't work, but yeah.
Yeah, but no, he did well, and you're right. Look, the OC in this, when you have Josh Allen, and if things don't go well, you're gonna deflect and blame Joe Brady. That's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You're gonna go after the OC. I should just say. Brian Dable got shit. Ken Dorsey got shit. This guy's getting shit. And then when Josh Allen, when the offense looks great, I think we tend to probably credit the players a little bit more, than the OC. But the OC he had a good game plan. There was balance. They rushed the football well, and Josh Allen was great. Like in terms of like what he did, he was efficient. And as I said, this is what Sean McDermott wants. Like, yes, would I like them to pass 45 times and have 400-yard games? Of course I would. That would be great. But they're not going to do that. They want the balanced attack. And the first drive of this game, they took 7 minutes off the clock. And that was like I'm sure Sean McDermott was levitating when he saw that. Like you balanced it out on that first drive of the game, and then you had it all of a sudden the defense doesn't have to do anything, and that's what he wants. He wants a balanced attack. That's what Joe Brady does. I would like, Dalton Kincaid was great in this game. You should pat me on the back because I talked about in our predictions piece before the season. I was talking about this was going to be the Dalton Kincaid year, and I'm right. I'm the genius. You all should
turning into one.
Yeah, he's been great. He's crazy enough. He's like their big play guy on offense in the passing game. He's their deep threat.
He's had 100 yards receiving now in 2 of the last 3 games he's played in.
Yeah, and he's like their deep threat a little bit, like in terms of he's their big play guy. But he's been great, and he's rebounded from last season, and they've gotten the ball in his hands. I don't know if you know this, but I was trying to look this up, but the Bills have never had a 100-yard rusher or 100-yard performance from a tight end ever in the same game. Never. They've never done that ever.
Really?
Never have done that. The Bills.
This the first time?
First time it's ever happened. And I looked it up, and then finally the Bills posted something. I was really obsessed with trying to find this, and I was going through box score because it's not that hard to find. The Bills have always been horrible with tight ends forever. Like they've always been a shitty franchise with tight ends, and it's not that many. Like it's probably like 10 guys probably in the history, or maybe like 5 or 6 guys have had a 100-yard receiving game at tight ends. It's been so bad. But
that's really cool. Let me pull up a comment in the chat because I'm going to go ahead and disagree with this. At Leby P1H, and I respect and appreciate the comment, Lee. He says we won, but Brady turtled up again with the lead. Doesn't have plays to put teams away. I'm going to respectfully disagree with that because the last drive, listen, they did what they had to do. You run the ball, you do not take a chance. But I described some of what his game plan was, and also. There was also a 3rd down play where everybody in the world thinks they're going to run it, and Josh rolled out and hit James Cook, which, by the way, hey, the running back's involved in the passing game. What a concept. James Cook got the 1st down, and then he slid in bounds. That was a big play in the game. I don't agree with that at all, man. There were some times, where put it on the players, too. I got Joe Brady. I got no beef with Joe Brady at all for this game. I just don't. I can't do it.
And look, in terms of like I said, the wide receiver screens are annoying. But that last drive, look, they got like I think 2 or 3 first downs. That was critical for them to win. And look, if
Just
you
got the ball with 22 seconds left in the game.
yeah, I mean, if anything, I wasn't thrilled about them attempting a field goal, like a 50-yarder with a 70-year-old kicker. I maybe would have punted it and just been like, give them another 90 yards, but whatever, they won.
Oh, the field goal at the end?
Yeah, I wasn't really keen on that because it's Matt Prater. He's 200 years old.
I
would've
tweeted out. I
punted.
thought it was a terrible decision by Sean McDermott.
Yeah, I would have punted it, but whatever. It was fine.
Well, they got away with it. I'm just
got
looking
away
at the
with
ball. When the Bills took over the ball, they had 4:18 left in the game, and Kansas City had all
Yeah,
three of their timeouts.
and they got 3
And the
first
next time
downs,
they touched
right?
the ball, they had 22 seconds left in the
Yeah,
game.
so that you can't. I can't fault them for that.
No,
I thought
Joe.
that-
I
he
got
was-
no beef at all with Joe Brady. We've been talking about Dalton Kincaid. So 6 catches for 101 yards, 23-yard touchdown. I'm choking on a little Debbie cake. 47-yard catch and run, which, by the way, that was pretty goddamn sweet. And like I said, he also had 100 yards against New England. So two of his last 3 games, he's went over 100 yards. Shakir, nothing spectacular. Some of his bubble screens are basically an extended handoffs. That's what is in the playbook. But anyway, he had 7 catches for 43 yards. He did have a 20-yard catch in this game on a crossing route, which was cool. Elijah Moore only had 1 catch, but boy, it was a big one, man. It was a 28-yard catch. That was, like I said, the Bills sped it up and scored another touchdown after that. That was a great throw by Josh and a great focused catch when he was getting hit by Elijah Moore. You love to see that. So a big catch from him. Keon, 2 catches for 17 yards. I mean, whatever. He wasn't part of the game plan. He was fine. He didn't make mistakes.
No one else besides look. The offense was all about Cook, Kincaid, Allen. No one else did it.
As it should have been. I mean, that's fine. Nothing. I got no beef with Keon. He just wasn't a factor.
Oh, you
in
have
this
beef
game.
with Keon. You don't like Keon.
Well, you look at 2
he's
catches.
he's on your
yards.
flush more. He's on your flush more. Come on.
There's other games where they need Keon Coleman and he doesn't deliver. They didn't need Keon. He caught an 11-yard pass and a 6-yard pass. And he also, I believe he did draw a pass interference penalty in the game too. He did. In fact, he did. So Keon was fine. Yeah, the pass game was fine. And then James Cook, 27 carries for 114 yards. Tough yards too. I thought he was very effective. He closed the gap between him and Jonathan Taylor for the NFL rushing lead. So, look, the offense was fine. A couple. There is a beef with that I do have with the offense, which we're going to talk about here in a moment.
Okay, wait, let me ball wash some people on the offense.
I got one to ball wash too, but you can go first.
Go ahead, go ball wash.
No, you ball wash. Maybe one.
The offensive line was great. I'm gonna include all of them. The offensive line was great. Like I thought Cyrus Torrance. So I always fuck up his name. He was great.
Right.
He ran over some people inside, and that line is great. Like Aaron Cromer deserves a lot of credit. Spencer Brown. I don't even think I saw Chris Jones tonight. You tell me if I'm wrong.
No, he didn't do shit. Either did George Karlaftis. Their other talented guy. He didn't do dick either.
They didn't do dick. And the offensive line was great in pass protection. And I thought Spencer Brown was great. Kudos to the line. You have a stomach ache. Of course you would. You're just unreal. Processed food is not good for you, dog. But yeah, the offensive line was fantastic. And James Cook was, he is great. And I am thank goodness they extended this guy. Or you know what? One thing I wanted to say, we talked about free agent, like whether the Bills extend guys too early. You know what I mean? And there's some points of like, maybe you extend it to Rebel Arm too early, whatever. Because sometimes I do wonder if you don't pay a guy next year, all the guys they signed this past offseason, if all the guys they extended this past offseason, if they let them go, if they let them test free agency, how much more money would they have made? Probably, if they keep up this totality, probably not that much more. Like, I don't think Christian Benford's going to make $130 million next year. He'll probably make like a little bit, like maybe a little bit more, like because of inflation. The one guy that, thank goodness, they extended because he would have outperformed everyone, because everyone would have probably wanted him, was James Cook, because he looks much better this season. He was fine last year. Look, he's got 5 100-yard gains this season. He had 4 last year. He's got more already this year. He's gonna have like a freaking like 1,600 yards or something like that, probably.
He's on pace for more than that. He's on pace for over 1,800 yards right now.
Okay, well, 200 more. Sorry there, mathematician over there. But yeah, he's been great this season. His vision is great. His feet are always moving. He's great. And I can't, I've the whole, how they have done the running game. We should give Joe Brady, I'll ball wash Brady some more. We should give him credit because he's developed a really good running philosophy. Whether I'm not film bro over here, but like whether it's the offensive line or like the run blocking scheme or James Cook, whatever, it is much better how they run the football now than they ever did with Singletary or Moss or the other two OCs. He's done a great job with that.
Let me add one more person to the ball wash category because it's kind of an extension of the offensive line. Reggie Gilliam, dude, this dude is. If he's not an all-pro fullback right now, I'd love to know who's a better fullback than Reggie Gilliam and the shit he does. I don't know, man, but
Sam Gash, is he the best fullback in Bills history?
Maybe.
Let's think about it. There's Sam Gash, Sheldon Jackson. I think it was his name, not Sheldon.
Carwell Gardner.
Oh, Carwell Gardner sucked. They hardly ever.
They kind of suck. Jamie Mueller wasn't Jamie Mueller.
Yeah.
Did OJ, man?
Did OJ have a fullback?
I don't know.
Where the hell's Aaron? Where the hell's Andy?
What would you think I would know that for,
bro? I don't know.
I watched some play or something.
Yeah. Anyways, but the fullbacks, but yeah, he's been great. Oh, Larry Centers is a good one. Go ahead.
Larry Centers was a fullback by title.
He should be in the Hall of Fame. Larry Centers, by the way.
To answer your question earlier about the extensions, if you could go back in hindsight and look at them, I still say Benford was an underpay just because $19 million for a CB1 is not bad. Terrell Bernard's the one where if you go back and do it again, I think maybe you think twice about locking him up and giving him money based on what I've seen this year and kind of some of last year. Greg Rizzo, the sacks aren't there, but man, he's starting to play some really good football. And $20 million isn't that much money. James Cook's obviously that's a one you do.
Yeah.
Shakir, I don't know that you saved any money by signing him. I don't know that you would have paid much more if you let him go, but locking him up, the only one, if I could go back and be an armchair quarterback, maybe I let Bernard play this year out and
I guess my point is of all those guys, if they had, let's just say hypothetically speaking, they're like, we're not going to extend you until after the season. I don't think aside from James Cook, all of those guys were going to make like double what they made last year from how they've played. That's why, like
Steve Noble said Jim Braxton is the fullback.
I've heard of that name. I've heard of that name, so he might be the best. But hey, I'll nominate Reggie Gilliam as the best fullback of the 21st century, or what century we're in now.
Yeah. So yeah, the bad part of the offense, okay, and this is kind of leading into what will happen from Monday and the Tuesday at 4 p.m. Okay, so I got a couple questions for you. That's how we're going to kind of wind this down. But here's the Bills' offense in a nutshell. Okay, I feel like the first three drives. These are the Bills' offense in a nutshell. The first drive, Joe, it's perfect. It's beautiful, man. Cook, Shakir, bam, bam, bam. Then you end it. Dalton Kincaid, big play, 23-yard touchdown. 11 plays. 83 yards. It took a half a quarter almost of the clock. That's beautiful. That's the Sean McDermott wet dream type of offense there, right? Then on the next one, and they go for it on 4th and 2. I like the call. Bad execution. No receivers are open, and James Cook's not on the field. Like that to me is a Brandon Beane thing. These receivers just don't get open when they got to throw the football, okay? Then the third drive. It's huge, 3rd and 3. Not huge. It didn't turn out to be huge, but no Dalton Kincaid, no James Cook on the field. That's a James Brady issue or a Joe Brady issue. How do you not have James Cook or Dalton Kincaid on the field when it comes to 3rd and 3? This team is really good at running the ball. They're good at mixing it up. They're good at play action in certain situations. You know what this football team is very, very bad at, including this game and all season long? They are very bad when it is 2nd and 10, when it is 3rd and 8, when it's obvious passing situations and the defense knows that you're throwing, there's no unpredictability, you're going to throw the football because you got stuffed, you lost on 1st down. That's when this offense is terrible. These receivers, there's no ball-washing receiver-worthy guys on this team right now when it comes to when they have to throw the football to wide receivers. This is why they got to go out and they got to get a receiver, in my opinion, before Tuesday at 4 p.m. If
So
you
now
win,
you're on the wide receiver train, because last week I thought you were on the defensive tackle train.
I'm on you need two guy train, and we'll talk about that in a second. Which one you need more is up for debate. But I just realized it. If you could beat the Bills on first down, you got them, because this team is not good when it's second or third and long, and they got to throw the football because receivers just don't get open when that happens. So they got to do well on first downs. The Bills winning first downs means so much to them.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I also would say, I would look at the snap counts. Like, Brady likes to get cute with like getting everyone their turn, and everyone's got to be in the field at some point and get some snaps, and that could be kind of annoying. I'll be honest with that. But yeah, and then the wide receiver screens, I'm not a fan of those, to be honest.
There's a time and place for them. I understand some of it. I get it sometimes.
They always just feel like sometimes they result well, but a lot of times they don't do dick. That 4th and 2, I would have liked like RPO there, or like some play action, but like it felt like they were like,
you like them going for it though, right?
Oh, hell yeah. You know me. I
Andy Reid didn't go for it. Were you surprised that Andy Reid kicked a field goal at the end of the half instead of going for it on the final play of the first half from the 1 yard line? Were you surprised about that he took the 3?
Yeah, a little bit. Because the way that the Bills were playing their offense, they weren't. Did they even punt today? They did. Yeah, they did. Right? They punted a couple times. Like,
who, the Bills?
Yeah, I think they punted.
Yeah, they punted
right?
a couple times.
Okay,
Twice,
a couple times. Twice. But yeah, I would have gone for it, but they didn't. Let me ask you this, and then we can. I don't know if you have any other hot takes you want to mention, but I really thought. Do you feel that teams hold shit back that they know they're going to play in the playoffs? Like, do you feel, because that in my initial preamble when I was talking about Nate Geary's point about I want to lose this game because there's no way you're going to beat the Chiefs twice. I think part of it was they're saving their shit. Do you believe in teams saving their shit for the playoffs? Do you believe in that?
I think that I don't know if they're saving shit or not. I think Andy Reid just figures out things and creates shit in the playoffs. Look, the answer is yes, and it's not even an opinion of ours. Greg Rizzo said last year, after they lost to the Chiefs in the championship game, he said that the Chiefs did things on offense that we did not see, that we weren't prepared for. So, yes, no question about it. But don't you think
sometimes I think though they just have a really big ass playbook? Do you know what I mean? Like, every game is not the same. Like, I don't feel like you're running the same plays every game. You're running different plays. Like, you're running. I don't think the Chiefs left. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't think the Chiefs left anything on the table on purpose this game because they said, we're going to save this for January and not use it in November. Because this was a big game for the Chiefs. Listen, the Chiefs got 4 losses now. This is what's different about the Chiefs now as opposed to these other seasons when they come to Buffalo or we go to Arrowhead during the regular season. What's different is they got 4 losses. They're 5-4 right now, bro.
Yeah.
Denver's only got 2 losses. They've already lost to the Chargers, and they're a game up, so they're basically 2 games right now behind the Chargers. So they're in some trouble right now to win their division. I think I saw a stat. They're only 37% right now to win their division. Let me ask you a question here.
That's hilarious.
How do you feel about me wearing a official Buffalo Bills hat on a podcast? I know you're a big fan of people who wear Bills gear on shows like this.
Well, you see, I'm wearing a 26 shirts Josh Allen MVP shirt right now.
Oh, well, then you can't say shit.
But as you can see on the video, you can only see my chiseled shoulders, my Goldberg traps, and my hair. You can't tell until like just now. So, and that's, look, I had to watch my kid tonight. So I was watching the game while watching my kid, and I just didn't give a shit about what shirt I was fucking wearing to the show.
All right, that was a joke question. I got a serious question though for you. Is one of your concerns coming out of this game? My big concern is how do you replace what Michael Hoecht is bringing?
Oh God!
It's a big loss.
We have to have a funeral. We have to have a funeral.
It is a big. It changes what you cannot run that defense with Javon Sullivan. I'll tell you that much. You cannot run that same defensive look effectively with Javon Sullivan. It's not going to work. It's just not going to. That aside, though, that would be a takeaway that I have. But my other concern is because the Bills just beat Kansas City in a game where the defense played really well in a game where Dalton Kincaid had 100 yards, in a game where James Cook had 100 yards, in a game where Josh Allen only threw 3 incompletions, all that shit. Are you concerned that Brandon Beane is going to say, yeah, man, we're good? I'm not giving up a day 2 pick next year. I'm not going to do cap gymnastics. I'm not going to extend or restructure this deal and kick money down the curb so I can go get this guy who may or may not help. We just showed you. We just showed you Bills Mafia. We just showed you Dan Orlovsky and fucking Stephen A. Smith and everyone else. We just showed you. We could beat the Kansas City Chiefs with what we got right now, and we're still injured. We had guys who wouldn't even play, key players, because they were injured. I'm not going to go losing day 2 picks.
Jesus Christ.
Are you concerned about that?
I really like your acting there. Like, rah, 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 rah,
dramatic.
Jesus. It's all
Time
that sugar
for my
you're
last
having.
Little Debbie's on that
my
note. But no, seriously, question. Are you concerned at all?
4 of those.
Well,
Call your doctor, buddy, in the morning.
Yeah, this is not good, dude.
I mean, I don't want you to die in your sleep.
I walk 10,000 steps a day, and I have not had a sip of alcohol in 3 weeks because I'm trying to do somewhat of a diet, and here we go. Again,
there's no way you're walking 10,000 steps a day.
I guarantee you I am.
Where? To the refrigerator and back 10,000 times? Get out of here.
See my watch. It's going to say 9,800 something steps. I don't know if it's going to show up. Whatever. Anyway.
Okay. I don't believe any of that.
I forgot what I was even asking.
I think you give it to your dog. You're asking if the Bills.
I'm a man. Well, no, I'm just telling you because I'm a man of I'm just a man of honor. But on a serious question.
No, you're asking if Brandon Beane's going to make a move.
Are you concerned that Brandon Beane's going to back off the urgency? Like maybe he would have overpaid if they lost this game, but is he going to say, yeah, if it falls into my lap, I'll make this trade, but I'm not going to overpay. I don't know.
I'm going to
control.
Yeah, you're out of control. That's all that sugar you're having. I'm going to say no. I think he's going to make a move. And they made moves the last 3 years. And every season's been a different situation. Like they were when they traded for Nyheim Hines, for instance, they were good. Like I think they were like 6-2 or something like that. Mm-hmm. Then when Rasul Douglas came here, I want to say what were they? Probably a couple games above 500, and they seemed to. I just feel like he's a gambler. That asshole. I should call him an asshole. He's fine, man. But he is a gambler. He likes to draft, to make trades. He likes the big moves. And I think he's going to do that, even though they beat the Chiefs. Because look, you got to compete. The championship's not going to be the Bills Chiefs. I mean, it might not be. Who knows? But there's a lot of teams right now in this conference. It's kind of muddled, and you want to beat these teams out. So I can definitely see them doing a trade. Now, where they're going to address it, what are their biggest needs? Like you've been ball washing the death of Hoyt, and I understand that.
Yep.
It's going to be like I would say probably defensive line or wide receiver, and I can listen to both arguments because they're both fascinating, and like I will change my mind between now and me going to the bathroom. And I love the wide receiver train, but you already have James Cook there, and the problem right now to me, the defense is so banged up right now, it's ridiculous, and like you have to add some new guys there. Because it's just super banged up right now. Where the offense, your boy Palmer is the only guy, the only regular who's hurt right now, I believe, on the offense. It's kind of like the same. And I like a wide receiver? Sure. I would love to have. I mean, I fantasize about whoever. Name one aside from Matt Collins. I know you're wishing he would come back.
Chris Olave would be incredible with the Buffalo Bills.
And I'll take him.
He's your 3rd and 8, and I don't care if we're throwing it to him. He'll make the play anyway. But I agree with you that they need both. If you can only, I don't agree. Well, you didn't have to say one way or the other, so I can't say I disagree with you. Tonight, this game switched for me at 4:00 on Sunday. To me, receiver was the priority. Now you got to go get a defensive tackle. You have to get an interior defensive lineman. Now it's been reported before this game, which I thought was kind of bullshit, that the Bills were in the market for a defensive tackle. I think Ian Rappaport reported it. So, I mean, there's credible people saying that.
I'm sure they are.
I think the urgency is now it's enhanced because Michael Hoecht is gone for the season, and you got to be able to get pass rush from the interior. If Ed Oliver comes back at all, it's not going to be till late in a playoff run, and who knows what he's going to be if he does even get back. You know what I mean? And now you lose Hoyt. So you got Deion Walker, who's been good, but he was quiet today. Ogunjobi, DeQuan Jones will be back at some point. Okay, great. TJ Sanders maybe back in a few weeks. Okay, you got to go get a guy. Like
No,
if
I
you're going to
agree.
go get a guy, if you're going to overpay, if Brandon Beane doesn't make a move, I'm going to be really angry. At 4:00, if you will listen to Wednesday's podcast because the trade deadline's Tuesday. I will. Well, you won't, but
I won't be
hopefully
listening to
most
your
people
podcast.
will. You're going to hear angry Pat if the Bills don't make a trade. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I'm
There
not
will
talking
be
about
no ball washing that episode.
I'm not talking about a fifth fucking defensive tackle either. I'm talking about an impactful. This guy can help us win in January type of defensive tackle or receiver.
I don't know if it's going to be that good. I could just see it being a couple role guys.
Well, why wouldn't it though? Why would you not?
Because what has been the trademark of mine when it comes to the Bills defensive line? It's the 75 defensive line rotation of doom. They want rotational guys who are going to play like 20 to 30 snaps and they're going to give like oomph and all that sort of shit. That's what they want. That's why I don't know if it's going to be an impact guy, like a Pro Bowl caliber guy. I think it's going to be like a role guy who will come onto the field and play those snaps. That's just how they work. That's just how they are, man. So I don't think it was going to be like a giant impactful guy. It'd be great if it is, but
if you had your choice between overpaying to go get, say, a stud defensive tackle, like say Quentin Williams of the Jets or Dexter Lawrence of the Giants, or you could go get Chris Olave. I know people are going to say Jalen Waddle. The Miami Dolphins are not trading fucking Jaden Waddle to the Buffalo Bills. That's not going to happen. But if they go get Chris Olave or Quentin Williams, the defensive tackle for the Jets, who would you prefer? If you could only have one, if you could find a way to make one work.
Who is Olave? Okay. Well, first off, you know me. I'm kind of a hack at times, so I don't watch that many Jets games. I'll go Olave. Why not? Because I know him more.
Quentin Williams is one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL.
Okay, you know what? Oh, I didn't hear your name. The name you mentioned. I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, you're right. Quentin Williams. Yes, you're right. Give me a defensive tackle. Only because Paul Walker just said he was amazing, and I agree with him. Sorry, I didn't hear the first part because I was looking at my beautiful wife in the kitchen. And
good point.
Yeah, that's it. So
live chat. Buffalo Falcon said, we're looking at it from the Bills' point. I just said that the Kansas City Chiefs had no respect for their running game at all. This loss and the fact that they couldn't run the football and the Bills were teeing off on them.
Kareem Hunt's like 500 years old. So
Alvin Kamara, maybe something like that. Yeah. I could totally see the Chiefs making a trade here before the deadline as well. I'm going to tell you.
Here's the thing. This is why I hate you. You just said no way Miami's trading the Bills Waddle. But then you bring up the Jets. So the Jets are going to trade us Quentin Williams?
No.
Why? But so why would you make me compare Williams to Olave?
Because it's different. Because Waddle's still a young player and he's already paid. I don't see it. Plus Miami thinks that they'll be contending again sooner than later. The Jets could blow it up. I could see the Jets blowing it up. I don't expect that to happen. I guess my point, what I was asking you was, if you had your choice between an impactful defensive tackle or an impactful wide receiver, which route are you going to go? I would have said wide receiver until this game. Now I think you want to win in January, you got to get more help on the end. You need an interior pass rusher who matters.
No, I'm going with wide receiver. I've changed my mind since the last time you asked that question 10 minutes ago. Because you did ask this kind of in a way, but I'm going wide receiver because when the playoffs happen, you want to score at least 35, 40 points. Give me an offensive doom, but I will be fine with a defensive tackle. This is just the sake of arguing. I would rather have a really good wide receiver who can get open down the field, a stud, all that rigmarole we've talked about. I will say also, and I'll add this, what to you is the easiest transition? A wide receiver who's really good or a defensive tackle who's really good?
Like defensive tackle.
But you think that's easier because look, we always hear the buzzword system. You got to learn Sean McDermott's system. You got to know Joe Brady's system. And like wide receivers, there's always kind of been a little bit of a thing where wide receivers do take longer to gel. So, but what about defensive? What defensive linemen have done? Remember they traded.
Go get the quarterback. Go play the A gap. Go tie up the guard. I don't think defensive tackle is a hard position to play. I think it's a hard position to learn if you're a rookie, but if you're a veteran, fuck that. They can make a trade on Friday, and that guy should be able to play reps on Sunday.
Can anyone in the chat or yourself think of a defensive tackle who got traded during the season who made an impact. Because I could kind of remember wide receivers like Amari Cooper.
Reggie White?
No, he wasn't traded during the season, dude. He was a free agent. I'm talking like
true.
they traded for a defensive lineman. Like Von Miller got traded, and he was really an impact for the Rams. He got them to a Super Bowl and won it. I'm trying to think if there's other guys I can think of that because the transition thing is an interesting thing. Because then again, if you're a wide receiver, you're going to probably play a lot of snaps here. Whereas if you're a defensive tackle, again, they like the defensive line rotation of doom. They do that sort of stuff.
Let me go in this direction. Instead of us guessing where or who they might trade for, let me ask you this. The Bills are 6-2. The Bills are very much in the thick of the AFC. I mean, they're a half game out of being the 1 seed right now as things stand. And they play the Patriots again, too. So, all that said, you got a 29-year-old turning 30 quarterback who's still in his prime. If you don't make a trade right now, any trade, forget about the position. If you do nothing, and you got a lot of guys who are injured right now, and not just small injuries. Again, who knows when DaQuan Jones is going to be back? Who knows when Josh Palmer is going to be 100% healthy? Who knows if Ed plays at all? We already know Michael Hoecht season's over now. And you don't make any trades. Is it fair for fans or whoever it is to really start to wonder, are the Bills committed to trying to win a Super Bowl, like right now? Or are you saying, I just want to continue to have wax at the piñata every year. I'm not going to give up a day 2 pick. I'm not going to do salary cap gymnastics. I don't want to make this trade. Is it fair to question the Bills winning the Super Bowl this year being their ultimate goal if they make no trade at all?
If they don't make a trade,
it feels to me like they're not all in. They're not all in to win a Super Bowl this year. They're hoping to catch fire and that they could ride a hot January into February. But if you don't make a trade, I question whether your ultimate goal is to win the Super Bowl this year.
I don't think I would question it because they've made a lot of moves like previously, like during the season, and they are in.
I don't care about previous seasons. I care about this season.
Okay, no, I mean, I'm talking going into the season. They've made moves like adding defensive linemen, like in free agency. They added like 3 or 4, where the fuck they did. I would definitely say like they're still considered they want to win, but you have to have it takes 2 to tango. And we don't know. Look, there's a lot of bullshit out there right now in terms of agents and teams feeding guys. So I don't know. That's a tough question for me to answer in terms of.
I'm telling you ahead of time. If you want a guy, you're probably gonna have to overpay. Like you're gonna have to give
Stop
up.
Eating for God's sakes, Jesus!
I can't.
Christ.
I got 2 or 3 more bites left. I'm a man of my word. I'm gonna finish my.
No, you're not a man of your word. You're a liar. No, I'm just kidding. You kind of are, I guess. Maybe I don't know. But yeah, look,
I think Brandon Beane will deserve a lot of criticism if he doesn't pull off a trade.
Oh yeah, he will. He'll
deserve it.
I'll give criticism as well, but I don't think when you're saying like the words like they're not committed to winning, that's a little bit over the top. But yes,
I didn't really say it. I didn't say it exactly like that.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. It takes you 7 hours to get to eat your sandwich thing or your ice cream sandwich or whatever the fuck that shit is. And it takes you also 7 hours to get your takeout. So anyways, but yeah, I hope they make a trade. But
third round pick, a day 2 pick for a wide receiver. Day 2 pick. And if they don't do that.
I would do the Amari Cooper deal again, like that type of deal. Like a veteran, Rasul Douglas, a guy who I thought he was good here. I know the Pro Football Focus hated him, but I liked him here the first year, and say what you will about the second year. But yeah, it would be nice if they figure it out. But I think they have to. I don't know where they are, like as a team. Like, look, this league is fucking on crack.
They got the least amount of cap space in the NFL, by the way.
Let me make my damn point. This league is on crack in terms of every week you think but you have no idea. It's like Rowdy Piper when he said, like, you think you have all the answers, I change the questions. Like today, Carolina somehow beats Green Bay, and I saw your boy Matt Rich Warren the 7th. So I guess that win last week meant a lot. I'm like, yeah, I guess it does, even though Andy Dalton was terrible and blah blah blah. But like you just don't know, and it's tough for me to figure out. Like, could the Bills still win the Super Bowl as if is, yeah, they could. They could also lose in the divisional round. Like, I have no clue. It is bipolar season in the NFL. It is wide open in this whole league. No one scares anyone. I don't even
Other
think
teams are going to make trades. Other teams are going to overpay
How
to
do
try to go
you
for it
don't
this
know
year.
that. You don't know that yet. You don't know
Yes, I
that.
do.
You're gonna get a ton of fights with cover one on
If
Wednesday,
you're listening to
Tuesday.
this lunchtime tomorrow, maybe a little bit later to lunchtime,
Yeah,
first of all, the
Pat's
Bills
already
might
had
have made a
6
trade. There's
damages
been
already.
trades that have happened around this league on Monday. I'll guarantee you that.
Oh yeah, okay.
Anything else before we get out of here?
Yeah, I want to say one thing, and then we're gonna get the hell out of here. I like today's win. It was fun, and I don't. A lot of stuff was going into this week about like how much did this game matter, because we've been through this regular season thing of we beat the Chiefs in the regular season, they lose to them in the playoffs. That sucks, and it still matters to win these games. And I'm not talking about the standings part. I'm talking about as a measuring stick. I'm also talking about like these teams are so close together. They're just so close. This isn't like the one compared. I was trying to think of like the Super Bowl Bills when they kept going back to the Super Bowl and they kept getting their fucking faces curb stomped, and it was horrible and it was annoying. Where they're losing by 3 touchdowns to Dallas, or Washington dominates them, etc. And you're kind of like, enough is enough. Whereas this situation, it's like they're so close to the Chiefs. They're so close to them. So win or lose, it matters, but it's not going to like make me just veer off the freaking the highway and kill myself if they win. Like, I'm happy they lost, because that means like they'll beat them later, because you can't beat them in the playoffs or whatever. This is a team that they're so close to them. So you want those wins, whether it's regular season or not. I'm like, yeah, it would be great in the playoffs. And I'll do a reverse trend. Like, they meet in the playoffs. I cannot see the Bills losing. What is it now? 4? I think it's 4 playoff games, 5 playoff games against them. I could be wrong. I don't even know the number anymore.
This would be 5 if they were to lose.
They cannot lose 5 playoff games in a row to that team if they meet them in the playoffs. They can't. No. It's impossible. So I feel good about what they did today. This was, as I said, the quintessential put it on Sean McDermott's best games, like that he would love, that he would read and watch in his room while eating popcorn and hanging with his wife and praying to Jesus. He would love this game he just had today, where the pass rush was great, the balance on offense, it was complimentary football at its finest. I'm sure the cover one bros are ball washing each other as we speak, and that's no gay. I'm not trying to be like sort of like gay not gay. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say I'm not trying to be I don't know. I'm tired. But I'm not there's nothing wrong with ball washing each other, I guess, at the end of the day. Is what I'm trying to get.
We all know what you're saying.
Yeah, the complimentary stuff. This was his game that he loved. Like, this is what Sean McDermott wants. And I don't know if he can keep up. I don't know if he can do that against other teams in this conference or in the Super Bowl. But this was the game he's gonna hang on his plaque of I love this Sean McDermott game, and etc. So
now, here's my final take, and I think I saved one of my best takes anyway for the end. And I will say again, I hope by the time I'm recording Monday's podcast Monday night at 8 p.m. with Mookie Hawkins again at Imperial Pizza.
Your guy,
my guy Mookie. I really hope the Bills have a new player on this football team by then. But that's not what my take is. Oh God, I'm not joking. I swear to God, I'm not playing it up for the cameras. I have a legitimate fucking stomach ache right now. Like, my stomach legitimately is hurting me. God damn. Anyway, here's
you're a man of your word.
This is what I loved about this game for the Bills. So they were 5-2 coming into this game, and they beat Baltimore in week 1, and then they just didn't beat anybody. We were talking about all these wins. Well, Miami and the Jets and blah, blah, blah. Those teams had 3 wins. The Saints, 3 wins combined for the season. Carolina was a fraud team, and then they had a backup quarterback and yada, yada, yada. What do you say after this game? They just beat the Kansas City Chiefs. So they can't beat anybody. Don't look now. Listen, they've played 9 games, and they're 7-2. Or I'm sorry, they played 8 games and they're 6-2. What are they? They're 6-2.
They're
right?
6-2.
All right, so they played 8 games. They're 6-2, and guess what? They beat Baltimore and they beat Kansas City. Like before the season, if I said, Joe, the Bills will be 6-2 and they beat Baltimore to beat Kansas City, are you going to take that? I mean, I think you'd be an idiot if you said no. So now they beat an elite team. They beat 2 elite teams, even though Baltimore's got a shitty record. They're still a healthy. When they win healthy, they're a great team. So I got a lot of confidence in this team. This game not just was big for the standings to keep pace with New England, but it was also big, I think, for the confidence of fans. I think there's a lot of fans who are getting growingly pessimistic about this team, and I feel like beating Kansas City, especially with some of the injuries, restores the faith. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I picked the Chiefs to win 21-17 today. I thought it was going to be a close game and low scoring, which I felt more people thought it was going to be higher scoring, which I don't think it was that much more than 21-17. But yeah, I think it definitely part of the vibes are a little bit back. It's always good to beat the Chiefs. This is the biggest rivalry in freaking the NFL right now. There's no doubt about it. It's a big deal. But I'll say this, and then we can go off in the sunset. One question I wanted to ask you is, how much does that number 1 seed mean to you? Does that mean
a lot? A lot. A ton.
Why?
Because it's one less game that you got to win. It's one less game to get guys hurt, and you're at home. I think the number 1 seed, which is the one thing the Bills have never done during this run, is huge. It's huge. We've seen the Bills win games in the first round and win the game and get hurt, and then injuries linger over to the next round. So to be able to not have to play, first of all, it's the playoffs. You're going to play a good team, so you don't have to risk losing. And then you're going to be at home with an extra week of rest, an extra week of preparation, and you're not going to get anybody hurt in a first round game. I think the first seed is monumentally huge.
When is, by the way, the Patriots bye? Do you know off the top of your head?
It's right before they play the Bills.
Wow. Okay, so that's going to be December 7th. I just looked it up.
Yep.
Great. So we have to have that stupid game, like half the game. And so you know what? Let me just say this, and then we'll get the hell out of here. Buys should be division buys. Like I don't like this. We're like a half a game behind them kind of bullshit. Like we should all have the buys the same time. Every division should have their own buys, like together, not this like 2 months later crap. I don't like that. Anyways.
I seen a couple of people in the live chat were saying Josh Allen's going to win MVP or Player of the Week. Here's the question. I was looking while you were gabbing. I was looking at all the AFC stats like from games.
What the fuck is gabbing?
There's only one guy statistically who just dominated, and Joey Flacco. He just went berserk, man. He threw for 470 yards and 4 touchdowns. I guess the question is though, can you win Player of the Week when you lose? Like they lost though. 470 yards and 4 touchdowns, but they lost. So I don't know.
Say, you see, Joe. If you want to get me to get on the wide receiver train, I'm always on the wide receiver train. But look at Joe Flacco. In the last 3 years, you give Joe Flacco or any quarterback weapons, they can do shit. Like Joe Flacco was dead. Remember how terrible Joe Flacco was last year with the Colts? He was awful. And then he gets 2 of the best wide receiver, one of the best wide receiver tandems in the league, in Higgins and Chase, and he's just lighting it up. And that could be one of your exhibit A's of man, can you think about in a alternate universe where Josh Allen has those wide receivers where he's throwing it to them? And I'll say this about the Bengals, I don't know what the record is right now, but
3-6, I believe.
They're toast. Never mind. I was gonna say if they won today, they should have.
That was a big loss for them because that was a big loss. Yeah, they're 3-6. Baltimore's 3-5.
Burrow in the playoffs if Joe gets back and so keep losing. I guess.
Yeah, and if they keep losing, I feel like if they're out of it, maybe Burrow doesn't try to even push it to come back. So because Cincinnati does come to Buffalo later in the season.
Last thing, and then I'm serious because I should be asking
that shit.
I should be asking questions more because you just get your shit in and you don't feed. I feed into you and I'm trying to help you out because you're just I'm a jobber over here. Top 4 AFC teams right now. Tell me.
Right now?
Right now, yes. As we're talking, as you got a stomach ache, as you're trying to remember who's in the AFC. Give me your top 3 if it makes it easier. No, give it to me.
I do. I don't. I think there's 4.
Okay,
5. I think there's 5. I don't. There's such little margin between them.
I want
New
ranks.
England. I got New England there.
No.
New
I want
England?
ranking. The bullshit. I don't want this like this buffet. I want ranking. Who's number 1? Who's the best team in the AFC? Do it.
I gotta say, I think it's the Bills.
So number 1, you have the Bills. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think so because they got the MVP quarterback and they know how to win.
Who's 2?
I'm going to tell you, they're either the Colts or the Bengals. You can flip a coin.
The Bengals is number
not the
2.
Bengals. I didn't mean the Bengals. I meant the Broncos.
Okay,
Colts or the Broncos. You could flip a coin right now. Indy's for real, dude. I mean, they lost to Pittsburgh. Probably Denver. Indy.
The
Kansas
Chargers
City.
are back. The Chargers are back.
I'm not sold on them. Their left tackle. Their left tackle got carted off today. I'm still not. I'm not as sold.
Balling right now. But
Denver's got a great defense. Bo Nix is pretty good. They got good player. I don't know.
Back. Justin Herbert has been balling. I have him on fantasy, and he's been balling. I mean,
there's been years in the AFC where it's 2 teams, and like no one else has a real shot. I feel like Baltimore's right up there too. The problem with Baltimore is that they're 3-5, and they really don't. I mean, if you look at who doesn't win division, whoever doesn't win the division, the Bills or the Patriots, that team's going to make the playoffs. And then you got the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Chiefs. All of them. Well, now the Chiefs have 4 losses too, but they did beat Baltimore. Heads up too. So,
by the way, I don't think Tooch is in the live chat, which is sad.
I haven't seen Tooch.
I hope he's not
very disappointed. I'm very disappointed in Tooch.
I hope he's okay. I will say this: the number 1 seed is going to come out of the AFC East. There you go. Hot take of the decade.
Well, because the Patriots had. Here's the thing: the Patriots. The reason why I don't have them top 2 or 3 right now, I think they're playing better than Buffalo. I think they're playing as good as anybody. I got to see it in December, though. I got to see Drake play great in December in a big game. I got to see them.
Why in December? Well, look, next week
because they haven't done it. Because they've never done it. They haven't done it with this regime. They haven't done it. So I need to see it. If they beat the Bills, I mean, I don't know.
Anyways, I'm saying the road to the Super Bowl is going to go through either New England or Buffalo. Hot take. Ralph Wilson, I think he's in the chat. Mark that down. Remind me in a month because I'm going to forget this by the time I go to the bathroom after this chat. All right, let's get out of here.
Speaking of, we're going to get out of here. I do want to thank everybody. Almost 1,100 here in the live chat. Thank you so much for watching and for listening, and for the people who've been engaging in the chat, especially. I definitely thank you. Like I said, Monday, 8 p.m. Imperial Pizza. Mookie Hawkins is going to join me. We'll go over our biggest takeaways from this game, and we'll start to look forward to Miami. Hopefully, we will have some trades to talk about, whether it's Buffalo or around the league. So all that and much more coming up on the show. Talk to you guys tomorrow.